Hey designer, Alex here, welcome to the channel, and in today's tutorial I'm going to show you how to create a parallax effect in Adobe XD. So when you click right here, it's going to slide to the second slide, and then when you click again, it's going to slide to the third slide, and if you want to go back, you can click here to go back to the second one, and click here to go back to the first one, and we are also going to include some fun hover animations. So let's get started. Alright, so here is your practice file for this tutorial, and if you want to get this practice file, make sure to join my membership. Link is going to be down in the description below. Membership includes all of my courses, digital design products, private access to the Facebook group, practice files for my YouTube tutorials including this one, and so much more. So if you're interested, make sure to check it out. Once again, link is going to be down in the description below. So I'm not going to design this from scratch, but I'm going to walk you through. As you can see, I just picked up some colors here and there, character styles, and just basic components. So if I switch to my layers panel, you can see I just have 3 different sections, and of course you can create many sections for this particular website. You can add, for example, product section below, you can add an email sign up newsletter, you can add a footer. I just want to show you this effect for these 3 different sections, but basically the gist of it is it's going to work no matter how many sections you're going to add. In terms of code, it's going to be basically on scroll. So all of the parallax that you saw at the beginning of this video is going to work on scroll. So every time user scrolls down, the parallax effect is going to show itself, and no matter how many different sections you have, you can switch off that parallax effect for your sections so they can basically scroll down. But the whole point here is to show to your clients and to your developers which elements are going to slide into which place and from which position. So to get started, I'm going to quickly show you the structure of this design. As I said, we have 3 sections. We have hero, we have categories, and we have call to action right here. So how this works is basically for the hero, I have a hero BG, which is 1920 by 850, and the whole section right here, as you can see, this cutoff point is at 1920 by 1080. How to achieve that is click on the artboard, scroll right here, find it 1920 by 1080, you can see it right here, and of course you can play around with different sections. So if I click right here, go to my artboard once again, you can choose 1366 by 768, or you can click on this third one, which is 1280 by 800, or even better, you can choose your own custom size. So before you get started with your design, make sure to ask your developers which sizes they are going to support. In this particular example, we are working, as I said, with 1920 by 1080. That's where this cutoff point is, and that's where this line is. So to get started, as I said, we have hero BG, which is just this background right here, and for this second section, as you can see, this section is 1920 by 1080 if I select this. And finally, this third section is once again that same call to action, so 1920 by 800. The whole point here is because when I launch this website, this viewport is 1920 by 1080. So I want my content to be visible at all times, no matter which content. So if it is this one, it's going to be 1920 by 1080. If it is this one, it's going to be 1920 by 1080. So that's the whole point of this design. In terms of the structure, what I have right here are just some frames. I have this lamp, I have this sofa and this table, and inside I have table, coffee and books. So these are just different elements. In terms of this, I have my text inside, included the stack and the padding. So if I open it up, you can see I have my button, and basically the only thing I did for the hover is just rounded the edges. This button right here is the same. I just went ahead and changed the copy inside for both states. So shop now is the default state. When I switch to hover, you can see I just rounded the corners. That's the only difference I made for any one of these buttons. So to achieve the parallax effect, what you're going to do is duplicate this and call it, for example, hero. Then duplicate it once again and call it, let's say, features. Let me check. No, categories, sorry. And finally duplicate again and call this one CTA. What you want to do is to cut off each of them, and how you're going to do this is your cutoff line. As I said, this is the above the fold line and what your users are going to see. So basically the only thing you're going to do right here is type in 1080 and then go ahead and delete all of the content which you have inside, like so, and then do the same right here. So just go ahead and delete all of the content and come right here and type in 1080. Of course, you can create these artboards separately, but I just found this to be much faster. Then what you're going to do is basically group these, call it, for example, website in your first one, and go ahead and lower it down to 1080. What this is going to do is it's going to retain all of your assets into this particular section, and in this first one we're just going to focus on this one, so we're going to keep it as it is, but we are going to play around with the second one. So basically, to do this, I'm going to hit Control C, hit Control V right here. You're going to have exactly the same copy, but this time I'm just going to position this into place and make sure to come right here to the edge. And then for these top elements, I'm going to place them apart. So this one is going to fly out. So this is when they click to go to this second section. This table, for example, can go all the way out of the way. This lamp can go to here. This couch can go to here. Lamp can go a bit quicker. And even the navigation can go outside. And for our text, what we can do is perhaps move this maybe to here, move this to here, and then move this to here, depending of the effect that you want to have. You can even play around with this color and do whatever. And then in this one, we are going to play around with these elements because this is the position we want them to land in. But for this first one, we want to play around with their positioning. So we're going to do the same which we did on top. So I'm going to move this, move this, move this. And then for these elements, I'm going to basically do the opposite. I'm going to move this first, move this second, move this circle third, and do the same for these. So move this, this, and this. And of course you can play around. For example, you can turn this into a different shape and come, let's say, from a square to a circle, or do whatever you want really with these shapes. Finally, once we are ready, I can go ahead and select all these three categories and move them all the way out of the way, for example somewhere around here, and move my text out of the way completely. And then for that added effect, I can maybe click and move these even more to something like this for that extra dramatic effect. And finally, what I'm going to do is do the same here. So I'm going to hit Control C to copy, Control V to paste, and then move this third section into place. So click right around here, because as I said, I want this blue background to be right here. So what I want to do is, because these are going to transition, I want to go right here and select these, hit Control C, so this categories section, then come right here, open it up, hit Control V to paste it in. And basically what I want is just to move it out into position like this, and just to make sure that this background right here is going to line up with my original background. Like this, I think. Yeah, so you can do a quick checkout. You can select your categories and select this categories BG, and you can see that the selection is the same. You can of course drag a guide just to see where you are, but I think this one is going to work just fine. Then I can go ahead and delete the original one. And finally, the last change we want to do is for this one, because this is going to transition from this scattered look to this finished look. I'm going to position this right here. I want to switch this, position it right here, and then move the sofa and the rug, for example, all the way down here. And I'm going to go with the text, move it the same way, and perhaps we can go a bit further. Because they are in a stack, we can't, but maybe I can do something like this maybe, and then they're going to be positioned perfectly. Finally, what I need is this sofa and this rug to go all the way down to here. And now you're ready. So what your users are going to see is this. So let's launch it. Second one is this, third one is this, and basically what you want is to show to your developers how all of it is going to look like. Let's switch to prototype it. And what we need right here is for our users to start. So This can be either an arrow which says click me or load more or click down or whatever, but in this case we just want them to click right here, and this is what we're going to explain to our clients. Click and drag to this artboard, to this second one. What I need right here is to tap auto animate, ease in and out, because I want the animation to go easy in and easy out, and duration something nice and big like 3 seconds. For the second one, I want to do the same, so I'm going to select my categories background, drag and drop it to here, auto animate, so use the same settings, but now we have to go back. So what you can do is select one of these elements. You can use whichever one you want. Let's use this chair, for example, armchair, click on it to go back to this one. And we need the same thing right here, so let's select this text. Let's select the title, for example, to go back to this one, using the same settings. So let's quickly test it out, see what we got. So hover effect works just fine. When I click on my blue background, it's going to transition and take me to this one. And then when I click on my background, it's going to transition to this one. Finally, when I click on my chair, it's going to take me here. And when I click on this text, it's going to take me here. So once again, depending of which elements you add, maybe you want to add different gradients in the background, different expansions, different masks, you can do whatever you want, but for this case, I think it works just fine. And that was the whole point of this design, just to create this sort of fake floor right here, which is just the color of my artboard. And this blue background is not covering the entire height of my artboard, which is 1080 if you remember. It just covers this, so we have this sort of a fake floor with these images in PNG. So once again, when I click, you can see all of these elements are transitioning. They're transitioning once again. You can see all of them are landing into place. Everything works just fine. And when I click right here, you can see that all of them are coming back. So that's it for this tutorial. I really hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to experiment with your design. If you want to get this practice file, once again, make sure to check out my website alexondesign.co and join my membership in order for you to get it. If you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I upload new videos every single week all about Adobe XD, UI UX design, design tips, jobs, and so much more. So if you're interested in content like that, make sure to subscribe, and until next time, take care.